Hey YouTube. So in the last video I said that I was gonna buy suspension rebuild kit, the bushings. So those have come in. I'm tackling the rear suspension to start. So yeah, gonna clean up the frame and the wheel well and take everything apart and clean it all. So it's gonna go from this to this. I rebuilt this set already. I wanted to make sure I had all the right tooling. If I needed bushing presses or fancy little stuff like that, then I would get it, but I don't. Not for the rear at least. So obviously my rotor is still roached, but it's straight, doesn't feel warped, so that's gonna ride. But everything is done. I've got some tips and tricks to get this trailing arm installed a lot easier. So we'll show you those as we go. We got paint. Took the half shaft off, and I've got new grease in the caps and the needle bearing caps, and everything got prepped and primed and painted, and bushings on the leaf spring, and so it all came out really well. Obviously I haven't driven it, but I assume it will be in great shape. So yeah, let's we're gonna get started on this side. First I will remove the brake line and emergency brake cable and the flexible brake line. So we'll get all that stuff off, the rotor off, the caliper off, and we'll start with that. I'm gonna, yeah, so let me do that. I'll be right back. All right. So I got the rotor, caliper, flexible line off the frame right here. Just got that little clip off. Got the emergency brake cable out. I removed the shock, and then I removed the strut arm bolt, and I just got to drop the strut arm. I sprayed PB Blaster and Croil on all this stuff like 2 weeks ago, and I did it a week ago, and I've just been keeping up on that. Came out in the garage a couple times over the week and sprayed everything down. Just, it's not that bad, but you know, whatever you can do to make your job a little bit easier. So next I'm gonna pop the strut arm out. So you gotta stick a screwdriver down in there and pop that guy out. Strut arm's right there. Then put a jack under the leaf spring. I'll put a pair of vice grips. You want to put vice grips on the leaf spring leaves. Clamp them down really well before you remove anything, so they don't shift. So if I go right there and want to set them really tight. There we go. Kind of see how I have it backed. This third leaf is backed up against the vice grips so that it won't shift. So we'll put a jack under the leaf spring, take some tension off, and then remove the nut and drop it out. When I did the other side, it was kind of in a bind, so it didn't come out super smoothly, but it's not too hard. Just want to kind of get yourself out of the way a little bit in case something does. You don't want that spring to smack you, and you don't want flying washers to smack you. But I love these Texas cars. They, you know, stuff unbolts so easily and so doable. But I was able to disassemble this side and prep all my suspension parts with a wire wheel and sandpaper, get them primed and painted, and then also wash and prep, flush out the whole wheel well and all the frame back there, all the leaf, that half of the leaf spring, and get all my parts prepped, primed, and painted in one night, and then I had to work during the week, so it had a week to dry. This side probably won't have as long, but I'd like to get everything out clean, primed, and painted tonight, and then tomorrow I will move to the front and probably start disassembling the front. And then once I have the front disassembled one side, then I'll go back here and reinstall my my parts, just so I can give my paint a lot of time to dry. It's important, so I don't get my fingerprints on everything. No one's gonna see it, but I will know. So just want it to look really good. I mean, it does look really good. Other than my ugly exhaust, which I plan on doing side pipes in the future, so those will get cut out. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep going. Like I said, I'll drop the strut arm, and then I will drop the leaf spring, and then we'll take off the half shaft, and then we'll pull out that trailing arm bolt. And I have kind of a trick for that. You just take off that nut on the frame there, and I've got a really long screwdriver I use to pound it out. So, but yeah, we'll cross that when we get there. I'll show you guys that. So let me get that disassembled and ready to go. Okay, everything's free. Let's see if I get some light. Just gonna get this nut off. I got it loose. Okay. So I've got a super long screwdriver that I got from Harbor Freight. I use your cheap stuff because you're beating on it. And of course, if you have like round stock, you know, 1/4 inch steel dowels or something like that, you can kind of bend it into the punch you need. But this is what I've got, so I can, you know, really kind of guide it in there and pound it in. So everything else is free. And if you're wondering why I'm doing these bushings, that's not good. Also, if you look down in there, our strut rod, terrible, just toast. Everything's toast. And these are probably the best bushings on it. These are from the leaf spring. These are in probably the best shape, and they're cooked. So I'll set you guys up right here. Watch. Press out this. I want to get the trailing arm on the ground by the sun goes down. Start with a flathead. Because I lost the bolt. Different angle. Alright, maybe this side doesn't work with that method. Let's see. Oh no. I think the trailing arm twisted inside here because there's no, the bushings aren't supporting it at all, so kind of lost my angle. So try to find it. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Bolt is out. There we go. Jeez. So awkward. Alright, come on. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So just got to take off that strut arm bolt in the back there and then take off the half shaft mounting those U-bolts up in there. So I can clean this guy and paint it up. And then we gotta pull out the long cotter pin with the, see those shims. Make sure you label which, you know, if it's inboard or outboard. And put those back how they came. Bolts back in there. You just can't fit your fingers or work in there, so that's my best method for removal. I've got a cool trick to install it too, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, let me, I'm gonna take a little break, drink some water, and then I'm gonna clean up everything and get all my parts, you know, remove everything else and get everything prepped, clean, and ready for paint. So see you guys soon. So almost have everything out. Have the strut arm out. I just need to pull the half shaft, and then this thing will be all the way stripped. I got the shims out, so this will be ready to clean. I got the trailing arm. I kind of prepped it, you know, wire wheel, and then degreased it and washed it. I started spraying the self-etching primer, and I think I'm just doing myself a disservice by not using POR 15. So I think I'm going to get everything clean and washed and prepped, and then let all that stuff dry. Same thing in here. I need to scrape all this mud out. I don't know if you can see, but and all this is just just mud. So, that was a very good example. Oh. There, that's a great example. So, I mean, it's just in every little nook and cranny. So, what I did on the other side was I took a scraper and my vacuum and scraped all the, you know, obvious stuff off, vacuumed it out, and then I took my wire wheel and my drill, hit everything, and my little handheld wire brushes, and got into all the nooks and crannies and tried to agitate the dirt, and then vacuumed it up, and then whatever didn't suck up I blew out, and then I wash with soap and water. I get a little bucket of soap and water and just sit here and scrub it with a bristle brush. Scrub all the surfaces all up in here, and you know, the cobwebs and crap. And you know, really hit it with some, what's that stuff called? Purple Power. Let it sit up, really activate, and then flush it again with clear water, and just keep flushing everything. I know I'm doing it in my garage, but lay a towel down. It'd be ideal to be out in the driveway and have a power washer and really, you know, maybe it would have been smart if I have a power washer, which I don't, but it would have been smart to back out the car before I started this project and take all 4 wheels off and just power wash inside, you know, all around in here just to start, but that's okay. This makes for a better video anyways, you know, from looking like crap to looking a little better. So, yeah, I'll get all my parts, get the half shaft removed, get all my parts clean and ready for POR 15. I've got to go pick some up tomorrow. I don't have any. It'll be my first time using it, and I've heard good things. I think it'll just dry to a, you know, a little bit more chip resistant. It'll last longer. I'm not worried about the rust. It's not a rust thing. All the rust that I do have is like surface and barely, really, it's not a problem. You know, all this stuff, it's not really rusty. So still want to get it off. I don't like it. I don't like how it looks. I think POR 15 will be a great sealant for the frame and all my metal parts, and the trailing arm and strut arm and the half shafts. I think that's kind of the way to go. And then as for the fiberglass up in here, I'll get it clean and then prime it and use my frame paint, you know, the same stuff I was using on the other side. Actually, no, sorry, not frame paint. I prime it and then I use bed liner, but which I'm also, no, not that. Where is it? I used, it's an undercoating, not bed liner, but it's kind of a rubberized coating, and it's flat. The bed liner is a little too aggressive. I don't want it to, you know, be all ribbed out. I want it to be flat so it doesn't attract dirt. You know, I'm able to stick a hose under here and rinse it, but it came out really nice. I mean, it just looks so much better. So yeah, I mean, this side does look great. I'm really happy about it. So, you know, I didn't video this side because I wanted to do a smooth video and not sit there looking like a fool, you know, having to order parts and or, you know, order tools or go rent stuff. I wanted to figure all that stuff out on this side. So just makes for a better video and makes me look like I know what I'm doing. But yeah, so let me I'll get it all out, get all clean and ready for POR, and then I'll show you all that, show you what it looks like in here before it's sealed up. But it's gonna look like $1,000,000 compared to this crap. But yeah, see you in a minute. Okay, it's the next day. Got everything cleaned and prepped, dry. Picked up some POR 15. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint these guys up. 2 light coats, and then I'm gonna hit the frame, the metal parts of the frame and undercarriage. And then for the oh, my place shop is a mess, totally messed up. But for the fiberglass parts, the wheel well, I'm using another can of the undercoating, so that'll be good. And then for the leaf spring, roll bar and chassis paint, because I think talked to my dad about POR, and it's like a glass-like finish, very rigid. So if you put it on something that flexes, it's probably gonna crack. So we'll use something more. It's got a little more give for the spring, but for everything else, it's rigid. All this stuff, frame, everything else under there, be no problem to use POR. So let me get these coats started, and I'll show you when everything's painted up and drying. Okay, I have the undercoating on all the fiberglass up here, and then all the metal parts. Got the POR. Looks great. I wish I had done this on the other side, because I can already tell it's gonna be way better. Here are my trailing arm. And I should have gotten better quality paint brushes. I just used what I had. You can see some of the hairs from the brusher. I kind of got all over it, but that's okay. It's not going to be very noticeable, but it came out great. This is the first coat. Or actually, no, this is 2 coats. I'm going to hit it again. It's been like 2.5 hours or so since I got the second coat on there, so I'm going to hit it again with 1 more coat. Looks good. Came out great. We go into the car. Oh, God. Got the frame rails up here. Those are gonna need another coat. But I hit the leaf spring with just frame paint because I need it to flex, not crack. So that's just rattle can. But yeah, the POR looks really good. It's really pretty, and it's looking like it's gonna be durable. Kind of difficult to work with. I mean, it gets everywhere, and that's probably maybe user error, but it's a messy product, especially if you're hand painting it. So I don't know, probably just user error, but tons of sediment at the bottom of the can, so stirring took 5 minutes or so, and just to get that ready to go. But yeah, I'm gonna hit it again. It started raining. That's great. Crap all over my driveway. I'm just, garage is total mess. Tools everywhere and dirt all over the ground and sand, all the crap that I've been knocking off the frame. So the garage is a wreck. Before I start on the front, I'll definitely pull it out so I can clean my garage out, so I just start fresh. I don't want to work in this, but yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna do the rest of the coats, and we'll see about how long it's gonna take for it to set up with this temperature. It's like 80, 85 degrees, very humid, so it'll probably won't really be able to touch it till tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll be back after the final coat. Okay, it's a couple hours later. When I applied the POR, it was like 46% humidity, something like that. And then it rained, and then the humidity went up. It's like 86% right now, so it's very humid. So everything actually set really well, so I can handle it. I popped in the bushings, so those guys are fresh, ready to go, lubed up. I've got all the hardware pretty decently cleaned, but this is my little trick to getting the trailing arm bolt in. So let me thread that down. The end of the trailing arm bolt has a little nipple, and I just hit it with a punch and drill a small hole, and then I use safety wire and kind of, you know, twist it down to make a needle and thread. And this is how, you know, I thread in the safety wire through the back of the frame and then into the controller or the trailing arm through the bushing, and then, you know, kind of fish it through. And then you can sit up there and support the trailing arm while you pull on that, on this wire, and it will pull the bolt through. I did it on the other side and it was like 2 minutes. So really made it easy. So I'm gonna install that and install the trailing arm tonight. I don't know about anything else, but I think if I get the trailing arm bolt in, get that bolted up, that will be a good stopping place. But I'll most likely do the entire thing tonight because I have a hard time going inside. So let's see what happens. Okay, it's a couple hours later. All the POR is very dry, way harder than I thought it would be this soon. I think it's because the humidity just skyrocketed up to like, you know, it's like 85% right now, so I'm dripping in sweat, but the POR dried fast. That's great. Came out, I mean, it looks great other than the little hairs you see from the paintbrush. But I was gonna wait till tomorrow to install the trailing arm, but you know, might as well do it. So my trick, let's see, let's angle this down. I take the trailing arm bolt and I drill a hole in the nipple. I don't want to use the cotter pin hole because the diameter of the bushings for the trailing arm, you know, it would jam up in there and maybe gall it. I don't know, you know, it was hard enough getting it out. So go to that little nipple, drill a hole, and I use safety wire and just braid a piece, and then I'm gonna thread the safety wire in from the back side and thread it through the frame, and then I'll have the trailing arm right here, then through the bushing on the trailing arm, and then back through the frame. Once I have that, you know, the trailing arm will be right here. I won't try to get it in there yet. So once it's close, I'll scoot it all up. You know, once I have everything threaded, I'll scoot it up into there, and then I can pull it through. So I did it on the other side. On the other side, I actually did it twice because I installed it without these washers. Those go on the trailing arm bushings to sandwich it. So get all your hardware, have it right here, you know, get this threaded, you know, install that inboard washer, and think about, you know, make sure you have everything. There needs to be a washer on the bolt this way, and then you have 2 washers on the outboard side of the frame right here. I would love to video this and show y'all, but it's dark. I have limited flashlight access, so it would be a crappy video. I think you guys get it. So I'm gonna get that trailing arm installed and I'll be back with you. Just like that, it's in. I mean, what was that, like 3 minutes? It's kind of awkward. I sit on the ground and just kind of hold it in my lap. And it's definitely awkward, but that safety wire trick is just incredible. You know, get the bolt really clean, get everything really clean, and you know, make sure you have all your washers and stuff, but you have a lot of wiggle room because there's no shims installed yet. You install those after. So you can wiggle it around, and you do have to kind of twist, you know, you're gonna have to twist the trailing arm on like a longitudinal axis, just back and forth, try to work it in, but for me, this one just pulled right through. On the other side, when I did it, the first time was just as easy as this one. I realized I forgot my washers and had to take it back apart. And then the second time was just a little bit harder, but still, I mean, just easy money. And look at the POR, it's so pretty. It's gloss, so glossy. I'm sure it'll die back a little bit as it, you know, hardens up all the way over the, you know, over the course of the next couple days. But yeah, I'm stoked. This side is This side is really good. You know, I'm disappointed I didn't do the POR on this side. I thought this side was, you know, just so pretty and nice. You know, from looking at this crusty, rusty side, how it was yesterday, but now this just outshines it. I might, yeah, I think I will. I think I'm gonna wire wheel the frame paint on the other side and just put on some POR just so it looks uniform. I mean, dang. But yeah, very happy with it. So I'll install everything else. You know, comes off the same way it went on. Like I said, too dark to video it. And plus, I like to listen to music. It's another reason I don't do step by step, unless it's, you know, really easy for me to, or the filming is easy. But I really just want to listen to music while I do this. And YouTube does copyright. You know, it'll flag me for copyright, and I don't think it really matters. I'm not trying to make money on this, but I have another video that did get copyrighted, and I've almost got no views on it. So, not that I get very many views anyways, but you know, I don't know. I feel like it does limit your views. So, but yeah, I'll bolt everything up. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, most likely tonight. So, yeah, I'll be back. Okay, it's the next day. Last night I pretty much buttoned everything back together except for the rotor and caliper. But guess we got the shims in. You know, 3 shims on the inboard and 2 on the outboard. Got that cotter pin. I went around to every bolt I took off, every castle nut, made sure that they were tight, torqued correctly, and then everything's got a cotter pin. So I did on both sides. Now the only thing, oh yeah, so I ordered new shocks, and they arrived today, so that was another missing piece. I've gone for all around, but that will be a major improvement from these. I don't know if you can see that, but I've seen better days. So this looks fantastic. Now the only thing is when I put the wheels on it, my strut rod adjustments for the camber are probably gonna be way out of whack. So I try to put them in a neutral position under the car, mounted them up. They're tight, so that way when I put the weight back on the car, I'll be able to see just exactly where we're at. But those are definitely going to need adjustment. I'll need to get them to, I think it's like 0 degrees or 1 degree positive or negative. I don't know. I need to check the manual, but need to get it at least set to that, or at least eyeball straight, just so I can get it to the alignment shop before I do any real driving. But the rear is done. I'm like really stoked on it. It looks great. So we get the wheels on it, and then we'll drop it down, and I can finally move the car back and clean this mess. But I'm gonna divide the suspension video into 2 parts. It's gonna be front and rear. So this will yeah. Okay, this is the next day. I pretty much got everything installed last night. I just had to throw in the rotor and caliper on today, and then also the new shocks. Those arrived today. So rear shocks are in, both sides. Looks great. The strut rod is definitely out of adjustment, but I won't be able to adjust that till stick the wheels on and drop it back down. But it's okay, that's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna divide this project into 2 different videos. One's gonna be rear suspension, and then in the future I'm gonna make a front suspension. Start that next week. And yeah, so I think because this is already gonna be a pretty decently long video, So, but man, it turned out great. Looks really good. I went over last night just making sure I had everything tight, no missing washers and cotter pins and everything. Touch up paint where I chipped stuff or, you know, whatever, missed spots. Everything's torqued down, everything looks right. Yeah, I'm gonna put the wheels on it and roll it out so I can clean up this mess, because it's, I mean, I'm just tripping over a million different things, laying in the dirt, and I've been out here like an hour and I'm filthy again. So yeah, well, yeah, let me put the wheels on it, roll it out. Thanks for watching. Okay, got the wheels on it, took it around the block. I mean, definitely huge improvement. Just feels way tighter. I feel like I have 3 less noises coming from the rear end. But the camber is definitely off. I don't know if you can really see, but yeah, you can definitely see that. So that's way off. Car settled for sure. This one isn't as bad. So you can see that in the video. Definitely not as bad, but I don't really know if I'll mess with that adjustment. But this one I definitely will, before taking it to, you know, get professionally aligned. I wouldn't really care, but, you know, definitely a big project. Don't want to, you know, prematurely wear anything or put weird stresses on anything, so this thing needs new tires all around. Actually, except for this front. This front wouldn't hold air, so had to get that one. So that's a brand new tire, but the other 3, they're trash. So they'll make it to the to Discount Tire and to the alignment shop. But yeah, very happy with that. Got the garage cleaned out, swept up the floor, got the car flipped around, so, you know, I'm gonna back it up a couple more feet, and then I'm going to lay under the car and look at the front end and spray everything with PB Blaster, which I did a couple weeks ago in preparation for the suspension, but I'm gonna do it again. Look at the bolts, look at the nuts, torch them, you know, whatever I think needs help. So far I've not been breaking off bolts, but I you know, preventative maintenance. I'm gonna finish up here soon and go play some pool, so the least I can do tonight is spray some penetrating oil on the front end. But very happy with the outcome on the rear end. It looks awesome. I mean, you know, I'm the only one who's gonna appreciate it after this is said and done, but very happy with it. Let's see. You know, just looks great. Very happy. All right, that concludes this video. Thank you all for watching.